Alaska Real Estate Podcast starts right now. I'm Chris Story, your host for Great Adventures in Real Estate. Today, Michael Droege drops in for his mid-year presidential report. Your association hard at work for you. And your real estate news you can use segment. All that and more coming up here on Alaska Real Estate. I want to thank Alaska USA Title Agency for making this podcast possible. Alaska USA Title Agency is celebrating 5 years in business. Crystal Patola and her team all over Alaska want to say thank you. More offices are opening and deals are closing. Remember, when you want professional escrow and title services anywhere in Alaska, think Alaska USA Title Agency. Give them a call, 877-646-6498, or better yet, just visit them online, akusatitle.com. All right, so what do you think about this? Creepy or clever? Your site's visitors unmasked. All right, it's today's Realtor magazine online Realtor mag. A company called Relead boasts that it can convert anonymous web visitors into sales leads. The company says it can provide the email addresses, phone numbers of those who visit your company's website, but fail to fill out any forms or provide their contact information. The company says it can provide you with the information you need to follow up with a person, yada, yada, yada. Is this technology you would use? Is there an expectation of privacy when someone's surfing on your site? And how do you explain exactly how you knew they were there? Or just start sending random emails? Well, what do you think? Would you use this? Is this something maybe you're already using? And it gives me pause, definitely, to go creepy or clever. I haven't made up my mind yet. All right, here's your Merriam-Webster word of the day: encroach. It's a verb. And definition number 1, to enter by gradual steps or by stealth into possessions or rights of others, to advance beyond the usual or proper limits. Let me see if I can use this in a sentence. The Kenai Peninsula Borough attempted to encroach on your private property rights with Ordinance 2011-12 without notification to the property owners. How you like that one? Encroach. Blog this. Here's an interesting blog post or Facebook post I thought I would share with you. Now, it comes to you again from the Realtor magazine, Realtor Online magazine, a wealth of blog ideas and Facebook posts. I'm telling you, you got to be mining this stuff. So without, and it's not too much, hey, look at me and my new listing. Very subtle, very nice. Your friends will appreciate it. Look no further than, again, your online Realtor magazine. 5 questions buyers should not overlook. That will get people's attention, guaranteed. Now, here's the 5 questions in the June 24th edition of Daily Real Estate News and the Realtor Online magazine. You can use 1, 2, maybe you make the top 3 things buyers don't know, whatever. So here they are. How's the noise? Number 2, are there any easements or encroachments on the property? Is the house up to code? What are the schools, parks, and police districts in the area? What are the local rules? Anyway, you can take it from there. Imagine what an awesome blog post that'll be. I guarantee you put that on Facebook in your blog or your newsletter, people will like it. What are you reading? You know, my nephews are visiting Alaska for the summer from Phoenix, and their school, this is interesting, my school never did this, their school requires them to read 2 books over the summer. They're both in high school, going to be a junior, going to be a senior. And so they had a whole list of books to choose from. My my oldest nephew, his name is Christopher. Chris Story, you like that? And anyway, he chose Freakonomics. Well, he could not wait to get up here and ask me all about the real estate agent section. Is it true, Uncle Chris? Is it true? Oh, you haven't read it? Well, you should. You should see what your buyers and sellers are reading about you. Freakonomics. It's actually a very interesting read. Recently, numerous of you have suggested Gary Keller's book, The One Thing. And you may have heard about this. In fact, Christine Mock, she's one of Alaska's, the only 30 under 30 in Alaska for the National Association of Realtors. She discussed her one thing on our last podcast, the most previous podcast. Go back and listen to it if you didn't hear it already. So I picked up a copy for Father's Day. It was my Father's Day gift to myself, and I'm thrilled I did. The One Thing by Gary Keller. What will it mean to you? What is your one thing? Well, that's for you to figure out. Get a copy and make The One Thing your summer read. Or put it on your list if you've got other things going anyway. And now, from the Alaska Housing Finance Corporation studios, whose mission, by the way, is to provide safe, affordable, and efficient housing for every Alaskan, and also, don't forget, still offering energy rebate money. It's out there. You can find out more. akrebate.com. Please help me welcome your president, Michael Droege.
The Kenai Peninsula Borough passed an amendment to an act protecting stream habitat that dated back to 1996, amended in 2000, and then in 2011 they expanded their reach over private property rights with this amendment that was supposedly to protect stream habitat, but we just view it as an overreach on property rights. The Citizens for the Responsible Use of Waterfront Land Use contacted the Alaska Association and asked for our help in encouraging the Assembly to repeal Ordinance 2011-12. At their behest, we took it to the National Association of Realtors, who gave us some legal advice and wrote a white paper on the issue and presented that to the Assembly. And as a result, the Assembly amended Ordinance 2011-12 that still is not satisfactory in our opinion. So we took the position to send out mailers to the entire Kenai Peninsula Borough, encouraging citizens to get involved for the repeal of this ordinance. And so that's where we stand today. And, obviously there's been a lot of reporting and other things on it that we'll kind of flesh out as we go along with this podcast.
The National Association of Realtors is helping out financially. However, I guess there must be some sort of disclosure requirement because the mailer included, from the National Association of Realtors, and it was mailed out of Virginia. The advocacy groups that were in favor of this ordinance, this overreaching ordinance, we're using that address and that mailer heading as National Association of Realtors as a way of castigating it as outside money. How do you respond to that?
Well, a lot of the people must have read the article that was in the Peninsula Clarion, and I guess has been produced in a lot of other papers throughout the state. And their position was Chicago-based organization interjects themselves in the anadromous fish fight. And I think it was disingenuous. The article that I was interviewed for, the moment that I got involved in a conversation with supposedly the journalist at the Clarion, I had a real sense that he was standing up, ready to pounce on the Alaska Association, the National Association, because he had a definite dog in the fight. So I don't feel like it was an objective interview, and he ended up using 2 or 3 sentences out of our half an hour, 45-minute conversation to support his position. He probably had the article written and was just waiting for me to give him some ammunition that he could use to support his position. So I think that the reporting has painted us as an outside organization, and just from a personal standpoint, it's laughable. I've lived outside of the state for 3 months in 50 years,
right?
And I've been a property owner on the Kenai Peninsula for well over 25 years, and have had fish camps on the Kenai River. I own some oceanfront property on Cook Inlet, and my folks used to have a house in Homer. We lived down there as kids. I mean, to say that our organization, and specifically me, were outsiders in this fight is crazy. The other part of that is he tried to use the fact that I own 2 real estate offices in Soldotna and Kenai as some sort of illustration that this was a self-serving issue and had nothing to do with private property rights, which is just wrong. The National Association of Realtors, being the largest private trade organization in the world, is aligned for one primary purpose, and that's to protect private property rights and promote affordable housing. And so that's why we came into the fight. We felt like private property rights were being hindered.
What else has been on the president's mind of late?
This kind of revolves back to what we're fighting for on the Kenai Peninsula with this ordinance. But, our Realtor Political Action Committee has been a very strong and growing organization in Alaska. We've gone from an also-ran organization within the nation to being the nation's #1 Realtor Political Action Committee, and that's something to be very proud of. We have a very strong organization in our RPAC organization, headed up by Patty Cohn and Janice Strong and Uli Johnson and several other, Denny Wood, really strong minds, and they're good, strong volunteers. We have made a real mark. So as the president of the organization, along with the trustees, we chose to set another high, lofty goal, and that's to have 100% of our membership participate in RPAC with a minimum $25 donation. The strength of our organization politically is second to none. either in the state, at a local level, in the municipalities, and then also nationally. We're a very strong organization. But it comes from the fact that we have volunteer efforts with Realtor Political Action Money and 1,100,000 members, which can't be duplicated by any organization in the world. And it is a huge responsibility we carry as stewards. I mean, we are each individual stewards of 1/6 of the nation's economy. We don't just list and sell homes. We're responsible for private property rights and home ownership for renters and buyers and sellers and bankers and builders and you name it. So it's a very important charge that we have. So we're encouraging all of our membership to get involved because, politically it's necessary. And, that's just would be a big feather in our cap. We would be the first organization in the nation to have achieved that goal.
Yeah, that is a lofty but worthy ideal, and I'd say very achievable. So just, you said minimum $25 cash participation, so versus a donation of an auction item or so forth.
Right, yeah. I mean, we all have in-kind opportunities that we can share with our organization, and every time those in-kind opportunities come up, we generate revenue that goes into the Political Action Fund. But yes, we want a minimum of $25 from each of our memberships. And, if you think about that, that's a cup of coffee a month. I mean, and for that, we don't all have the time to volunteer to the organization. Some of us have given a lot. I know that I've given 7 years to the organization, and there's many in our organization that have given much more than that. But when you think about it, the blocking and tackling and the things that we stand against and win, and the things that we advocate for and win, are very important, not only to Realtor members, but every real estate practitioner, all the title companies, the mortgage lenders, they all benefit from our activity. So asking for $25 from our membership is really not that big a stretch, and everyone should be happy to be able to do that.
Any final words you've got for the membership?
Well, we have a lot of things that we're trying to accomplish politically, not the least of which is the situation with Eielson Air Force Base and the Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in terms of moving the 18th Aggressor Force and the F-16 Fighter Squadron to Anchorage. It sounds to the Anchorage folks maybe like it would be a good idea, but there's a lot of systemic challenges that come from that. Not only where are we going to house all these people in Anchorage, but also how is it going to affect Fairbanks, who's already got a big issue on their hands. So we have a lot of things that we're trying to accomplish. Our organization is very strong and vibrant. The Alaska organization has made its mark on the national organization, and they are very pleased to see the kind of opportunities that we've created and how we've pushed this organization forward. So it's time for our membership to really understand the strength of their volunteers and what the volunteers are doing on their behalf on a daily basis, and do their best to participate. If you can't volunteer your time, you can buy your absolution and just give us $25 to put into political action, and you've done your part.
Thank you for your time and energy.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate all that you do for us as well.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you. That's it for this edition of Alaska Real Estate. Your executive producer who walks on water, Sandy Ehrenman. I'm Chris Story, reminding you that if it happens to real estate, it matters to you.
If I don't do anything else today, I'm gonna take a walk up by the creek, have him sing his song to me. I will find a shaded sunny spot, I'll pull out my guitar and sing a simple song for you and me. Something like ooh, la da da la da dum da da da, singing ooh, la da 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 da. Well, it seems there are lots of songs about those 18-wheeler trucks, CBs and disco dancing, spaceships and such. And there's always lots of songs that are about hugging and kissing. But there ain't nothing on the radio that's anything like this. And it goes, ooh.